They've been, 13 straight Final Fours? But Baylor's the defending champion. They didn't have a tournament last year, as we all know. They've won 3 national championships. She's been there for 20 years. So, I don't know. 248-539-9797. Look, if it was one of our team, one of your teams, you'd be pissed off. I mean, look, I'm still pissed off about the foul call on Bill Laimbeer in '88. I mean, there are bad calls that cost teams chances to win games. We know that, okay? That happens. But let's be fair. You have to be fair when you watch that game where we have a game that's officiated like that the entire way. Some stuff they call, some stuff they don't. They didn't call it, and that was it. And you know what? That's life.
Yeah, but as fans, it's their right to complain.
Yes, absolutely,
and absolutely should. And coaches that lose, I think that Coach Mulkey handled herself very well in that moment because they are defending champs. They did have a chance to beat one of the all-time great programs to get to the Final Four, and the frustrations of that call, of other things that happened in the game.
Oh yeah, if what was her name? Dee Richards, I think. If she doesn't get hurt, there's no way they lose that game. That game completely changed on that girl's injury, but that happens in sports. So
this makes me think of the NHL ref last week.
Yeah.
Where was it predetermined before the final play that they were not going to call something unless it was ridiculous? Because I don't think this is ridiculous.
No.
There's zero question that it's a foul and that she was prevented from getting the shot off. A shot attempt, a legitimate shot to the rim because they made contact.
Yes.
Is it as bad as the Rams-Saints pass interference? No.
No.
But you know what? I've always said that. I think referees make decisions ahead of time that we're going to let them play. You know, it's the whole NHL swallow the whistle in the third period in the playoffs or overtime.
They do that in the NBA too. And sometimes as fans, it's okay because we sit there, but we're hypocrites.
And this is where I honestly believe, and I know Baylor's an established women's program, but they're not nobody's UConn. Where if the shoe was on the other foot, the whistle's blown.
They're also human. And they make mistakes. And it could just simply be that in the moment, they just made a mistake.
But the great thing to watch here is, who shot the ball? I don't know these rosters.
Carrington.
Yeah. Her natural reaction right after she shot it when she went down was to go to put her hands to her face like she was hit in the face.
Yeah.
Like she didn't, and then it was like, what? And she put her hands up a few seconds later. To me, that's extremely telling. That's not your natural reaction if you're not hit there.
Well, look, it was a foul.
I think we all agree on that.
But you know what? That happens, and we bitch about it when it happens to our team, and it's too bad. But like I said, that game, that's the way the game was being called the entire game. Some stuff they were letting them away with, and a lot of times officials say, you know what? I don't want to determine the end of the game, the winner. But sometimes by not calling it, determine the end of the game.
What's frustrating in general is, let's go back to the '89 national championship game when Vermeil was fouled. So he got the foul call on that.
Yes.
But then there wasn't a foul call last night. It just shows you how horrifically inconsistent officiating.
It is, and it's
especially, and that was when basketball was physical.
Yes. Our telephone number is 248-539-9797. That wasn't the only controversial thing that Baylor's basketball coach was involved with yesterday. We'll hear what else she had to say coming up next. 97.1.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike C Sports Desk. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
This update is sponsored by Mother Waddles. Let's open this time around with the Pistons, who snapped a 4-game losing streak last night with a 118-104 victory over the Toronto Raptors. It was a good night for two of the newest Pistons, Corey Joseph and Hamidou Diallo. They would combine for 36 points off the bench in last night's game. It's either the Final Four or the final game for Michigan, as they finally battle UCLA tonight in the Elite Eight round of the NCAA tournament. You can catch the game over on AM 950 starting at 9:15. The last time these teams met was back in December of 2017, a game the Wolverines would win in overtime, 78-69. Finals from the NCAA tournament last night. Baylor beats Arkansas 81-72. Houston edges past Oregon State 67-61. In talking with reporters yesterday, Lions head coach Dan Campbell says he's been pleased with the free agent signings the team has been able to make this offseason.
All these guys we've signed, salary aside, they're fired up to be here. I mean, it's a genuine excitement. And look, you can call it. There's a little bit of a leap of faith in their part, and shoot, man, we appreciate that. But it kind of tells us that we feel like we're going in the right direction.
His final outing of the spring, Jose Urena gives up just one run over 4+ innings as the Tigers beat the New York Yankees 5-2 in Tampa. Meanwhile, the Tigers will be without pitching coach Chris Fetter for the first couple of weeks of the regular season after Fetter tested positive for COVID-19. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
Thank you, Gio. 248-539-9797. Danny Manning will join us at 9:02. Look ahead to the Michigan game with UCLA last night. In the women's game, we were talking about that, the controversial non-call at the end of the Baylor UConn game. Connecticut wins 69-67. Kim Mulkey, the longtime Baylor women's basketball coach, said something else that was kind of controversial that has social media, a Twitter, pun intended. She was asked, or I don't know if she was asked, but she just brought this up out of the blue last night.
I don't think my words will matter, but after the games today and tomorrow, there's 4 teams left, I think, on the men's side and the women's side. They need to dump the COVID
Starting
testing.
route to 7161 Myrna Street.
COVID testing, and then you got kids that end up having
In
test
4.2
positive or
miles at the
something,
roundabout,
and they
take the
don't get to
second
play in the
exit
Final
onto
Four.
Orchard Lake
So
Road.
you need to just forget the COVID test and let the 4 teams that are playing in each Final Four go battle it out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So if you are a team that, like VCU in basketball, on the men's side, so you didn't get a chance to play in the tournament because of the COVID problem, but now because the team's in the Final Four and you have positive tests, it's okay? Really? That's absurd.
Well, what she's inferring is that she doesn't want the national championship, men's or women's, decided because, a lack of roster. Maybe some of your star players. And she's also, you also have to take into context, or take the context of where she is coming from. Baylor is in Texas. We talked about this yesterday. Their numbers are down. They don't have mask policy. They don't have, they're 100% open for business. So from her perspective, it is different than the perspectives I think that we're living with here.
But the games are not played in Texas. They are in Indiana.
Understand that.
And if the rules are somebody gets tested positive, then there's no game. Basically, is the way it is. If I'm not incorrect, right? And they're not taking a player away because of contact tracing. Yeah, it would suck. There's no doubt about it. The Phantom, he says, yeah, but especially as we're seeing around here.